Alright guys, welcome back to the 1953 Chevy 3100 frame spot build. So basically what we got going on, just to recap, we got 1991, I think it's a 91 S10 frame. We extended it 8.5 inches to give the overall length 116.5-ish. We measured both ways. It's, surprisingly to me, it's 100% square. So we're dealing with 1/8 inch back plate and 3/16 of the actual C-channel that's for the frame extension. So last time where I left off, if you guys haven't seen that video, go back and watch that. That's where I cut the frame, split it, widened it. I was using a Miller-Matic 141. It's a little 110 welder. I was getting porosity in my welds. I cleaned all the tips. I did everything. I had gas and all the stuff, the right mix argon. Wasn't any of that. I think the 110 just wasn't penetrating enough. So I went out, got a different welder. Now I'm with a 220 welder. And I already did that side and I was messing around with it. It penetrates great, welds phenomenal. So that side's done, but I'm gonna show you how I did it on this side. After I welded that, I did cross-check again. And we're still square. I don't know how I did that, because if you guys go back and watch the original video, or you've seen the original video, that side over there, which is the passenger side, I cut at an angle on accident. I kind of bowed it. I beveled it. So it was luck. I don't know how I did it. I'm not going to argue the facts. We measured. It works out. So we're going to come over to this side, and we're going to weld in this piece and do the backing plate. And the backing plate, this was all cut on a plasma table. So we bent those. They put in those relief cuts, so we got a weld to strengthen that back up. And I ended up plasma cutting it to make it a little bit shorter so it can sit in flush instead of sticking out. I just like the look of that better. So with all that being said, I'm going to bring you guys in closer so you guys can take a look, and we are going to start welding right away. This is probably not going to be a super long video, but it's going to get us caught up to where I need to be, because now I'm a little bit behind. We need to get cab mounts going, and then I need to do engine and transmission mounts, because I want to put, I think I want to put the engine and transmission in before the cab. But I need the cab mounts on. I need the engine and transmission mounts. We got a mess on our hands, but I think I got it figured out. I just feel like it'd be easier to install the engine and transmission with no body. But I could be totally wrong there, so I don't know. This is my first way of doing it this way. Usually I, do it a little bit different. Usually I keep the firewall of the other truck, and usually the engine train's already there. This is the first time doing a complete frame off build, if you want to say. So we've, like I said, where we're at, we extended it. We're going to finish this side, and we're going to take off the legs, and that way I can clean this shop up a little bit. And I say shop, it's a garage. Okay, so it's hard to see in the camera, but I wedged these out pretty good and see the porosity build up. You can see the straight line. So I just don't want that to stress crack over time. So I'm going to give that one more grind on both sides. This is gouged out real good. And then I'm just going to run the bead straight down. And I'm not going to worry about these, because I think that's strong enough. I mean, I'm not going to, some of these I didn't even do down here. So it'll be fine with that and the back plate. I think it'll be good enough. Or it won't be. I don't know. All right, so this one is working a lot better. I'll show you where we're at. So we're getting full penetration. It looks good. I've done the tops. I've done the back side on the inside, and I've done the back inside bottom. So now I just got to do the outside and the outside underneath, and then the box plate. So I will finish welding, because this is taking about 10-15 minutes, and you guys don't want to watch that. Even sped up, you don't want to watch it. So I'll fast forward, or flash forward rather, until we get to the backing plate, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. Alright, so we got it, the back plate all welded in nice and neat. May not look great from the camera, but it's pretty good. Let me tell you, I got full penetration on both sides, and now I'm going to let it cool down just a skosh, and then we're going to weld the back plate on. There's what the back side looks like. Now, I think since I am overdoing it, I mean, I feel like I'm overdoing it, it's definitely not going to break. I would say this is going to be the strongest part of the frame, so if it's going to break, it's going to break somewhere else, but I am contemplating putting a couple of gussets here and there on both sides, just because, I don't know, I'm overdoing it, I guess. So we'll see if I remember. A lot of times I feel like I tell you guys something and I go do the exact opposite, so I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna let it cool down. I'm gonna go get me a cold snack, and then we'll come back and we'll finish boxing it off. Okay, cold snack check. Get back to work. Alright, so it's still cooling down, and I don't want to warp the frame. I don't even know if that's possible, but this is the backing plate shoved in there. So it's nice because you can weld right here, same spot up there. Boy, that's hot, I could feel it. And then you just, right here where it's bent anyway, you just do a nice wide bead, and you just start here and you tie it all the way in on both sides. And like I said, this has got to be the strongest part of the frame. So I think it's overkill, but I'd rather do too much than not enough and then have a problem later. And I am going to sand it down and paint it eventually. Once we get all the mock-up done, we're going to sand it all down, paint it, and I'm sure the cab's got to come on and off a few times. But well, I don't know if that's true, because I think I'm only going to put the engine in once, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself, but for right now, we're going to box in this frame, take off the stabilizers, and we are going to start moving along on this thing pretty quick, because once I get the body mounts on, I can put the cab on, and it'll start looking like something. That'd be pretty sweet. Just tack all four corners so it doesn't wiggle. Now I'm just gonna do a couple inches at a time. So here, and then I'll go here, and then I'll go here, and then I'll go here, just to kind of dissipate the heat. All right, we got both sides welded in, boxed in, and this is what the final result looks like. Stacking dimes. May look like a mess, but in real life, for my skill level anyway, I don't know. I'm just an old hillbilly in a garage, you know what I'm saying? It'll do. That thing ain't gonna go nowhere. Smack it, you know? Here's this side. This side looks a little bit more aggressive because of that Gaposaurus RX on that side. So when I welded this in, I kind of tack welded it. Now, instead of using the cutoff wheel, I'm gonna use my plasma again to cut it. I'm gonna use the Hobart 110 with a built-in compressor. And my hope is, since it's kind of a weaker unit, I can just undo the tacks. So let's see. Gonna get a little bit loud for a second. I don't think that did anything. When am I going to learn to just use the cutoff wheel? Let's see. Okay, sorry about that. I was shooting sparks right at the camera and I didn't want to mess it up, so I panicked and shut it off. You know, because I'm a big old dummy. That's why I'm a noob. I'm a noob, what can I say? Anyway, the frame is standing on its own for the first time. Now, I do have to go back and grind where I tack welded, you know. And the plasma did get through on a couple of spots. So I need to go back and just tack weld that a little bit and then grind it down so nobody will ever know. Shh, you're not going to tell them. Man, I did booger up that camera lens. Give you guys a little refresher of what we're working on, just in case you haven't seen the first few videos. But this is a 1953 Chevy 3100. Not the original fender, not the original hood. This is a GMC fender, you can tell by the turn signal light. I'm not sure on the door because if you look close, like it is that color, the same color, but I don't know why that door is so bright and the rest of it's not. This was used as a transmission shop, like display sign or whatever, advertisement. And I ended up buying it from them. Yeah, it's a pretty good truck. Number 2. It will be a good truck when I'm done anyway. So we got that truck. We're gonna put the 5.3 LS engine in it. I'm looking for a transmission, either a 4L60 or a 4L80, I'm not sure. I'd take either one. This isn't gonna be like a heavy duty towing truck, so a 60 will work. But any whichever way, that is a refresher on the build. Yeah, I mean, it don't look bad. It don't look great, but it don't look bad. Alrighty, folks, we are going to close out this video right here. I know it wasn't a super long video like you're used to. I try to hit like the 45-minute mark usually on videos, but this one was just kind of wrapping up where I left off last time so that I can continue on the progress of this build. We finished up the framework. I'm calling it done. It looks okay. I got a little bit of grinding to do, a little bit of surface smoothing out, if you will say, to do, but it'll all be just fine. A lot of off-camera work on that one, but we are going to move right ahead to the body mounts and getting the body placed on here, so that'll be in next week's video. I hope to see you guys all there next Monday at 4 o'clock Mountain Time. So Adios. See you next time.